Welcome back to Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR. Roger Hoover now pleased to be joined here at Saban Field at the Advantage Center by Callie Heivilin, now in her senior season competing for the Crimson Tide in softball at second base. And Callie, it's great to have you here. Roll Tide, are you excited that Team 29 underway?
Oh, I'm so excited. I've actually told a lot of people that I think this year's team is the best team that I've had in my 4 years I've been here. We have so much versatility, so much depth in hitting, so much depth in the infield, and I think that's what's going to allow us to mesh a lot sooner because there have been years where we don't mesh until the very end. And like we get to the World Series, stuff like that. But I think with us meshing so early in the season, like it's going to take us way farther and like have way more opportunities this year.
Did you have that feeling even going back to the fall about this group?
Oh yeah, like we meshed like super easy. Like I remember my freshman year, like we all were a little hesitant, coming in as freshmen, but these freshmen came in right away and they were like who they were and like they showed us it and they were like, yeah, this is who I am, and everybody meshed and so it was kind of just like, all right, these girls are going to be a good fit. So it was really awesome to see, and I think we're really going to take off soon.
And how much have you enjoyed with the freshmen coming in, and now you've seen that for a few classes, how much do you enjoy this senior role that you're in and this leadership role in this team?
I love it because from a freshman standpoint, I kind of got to see the older upperclassmen do that, like Montana, Allie Shipman, Ashley Pringy. And now that I'm in that role, like I just, like the biggest thing for me is I want everybody to feel like comfortable here. Like I don't want anybody to, feel scared or like even like, for instance, like I'm closest with Maddie Hubbard. And like she was my roommate this weekend, and like Murph has accountability partners for us. So like he put me with Maddie this year. And it's like I've got to grow and learn Maddie a lot. And this weekend I was like, Maddie, are you nervous? She's like, yeah, I'm really nervous. It's my first game, and I think like having that, and then I'll be like, hey, it's okay. Like you might make an error, you might strike out, but like it's the name of the game. Like just go out there and have fun. And after that first game, she was like, Callie, I had fun. And so like it's just like the little things like that. Like I just want everybody to feel welcome, and like having that senior role and having the opportunity to be able to like share my experiences with everybody else and hope that they, feel the same way is something that I cherish for sure.
Now, for you, you mentioned some of the players that helped you. Who were some accountability partners you had early in your time here?
I was super close with Ashley Pringy, and it's funny because like in the beginning, like my freshman year, we didn't have accountability partners because Kaylee Tao was the only senior. And like, so we had like 6 freshmen, and then it was like Jenna Johnson and Montana, and all them were like seniors, but like Tao was the oldest. So it was kind of like new that Murph started, like I think it was my sophomore year. So it was new, and I was like, oh, I like this. Like, it's cool. So like, I never had the opportunity because he like learned something new, but now that we have it, I'm like, it's just going to make the program way better.
That's really good to see. And for this group, like you mentioned, already off to a good start, the Candrea Classic out in Tucson, Arizona. Just first of all, do you like getting to start the season with not only a tournament like that, but also what we're seeing in Clearwater and just so many games so quickly as opposed to maybe just a game a day or a 3-game series against the same team?
I love it. I think it is what allows us to grow early. Like our game against Arizona, the score will show that we, quote unquote, played bad. But there were so many opportunities for us to do the game. We just didn't come through. But like that's the name of the game. And so I think learning early and having the opportunities to play all these good teams is really going to set us up for success in the long run. And especially like against Washington, like we had a huge comeback win, and like that just shows how dominant we really are. Like from everybody in the starting lineup, but also that are pinch hitters. Like we have the best pinch hitters that I've had since we've been here. Like everybody can beat anybody out. Like it's awesome because it only makes us better. So like playing in the Candrea Classic and then down in Clearwater, like having that strength of schedule and having the ability to fail and win and learn everything in between is only going to set us up for success in the long run.
Defense, so important. And, of course, you're locked in at second base. So what can you tell us about everyone else on the diamond as they settle in those roles?
Yeah, I think, honestly, like I'm locked in at second base, but like we have so many freshmen like Kennedy Marceau and Maddie Hubbard. Like they're infielders, and they came in, and I'm like, oh, these girls are good. Like, and it's good to have that depth. And like Western Michigan, like I didn't play. Kennedy played second base, and she played great. Like she had a 3-run home run. She made like a double play. Like it's just like little things like that. Like I'm excited for them. Like I want our team to do good. Brooke Ellistad is going between short and third. Murph's, still trying to figure everything out. But I think we're super strong infield and outfield. Like you have Audrey Vandegrift that I don't even know how she could be that fast. It's ridiculous. But like she's just so good. And we have like the fastest outfield in the country, I believe, with Kristen in center and Larissa in right and Audrey. But like in the diamond, like the thing that I love the most is the pitchers have so much confidence in the infield, and that's like huge for them to be able to dominate in the circle. So I think having the starters, quote unquote, right now, but then like having everybody else that's a backup, like I don't think there's a hole in any part of our lineup.
And then what do you see from Marley Giles at catcher?
Marley's legit. Marley's a great leader. She really takes control of the infield and takes pride in it. And I think the pitchers also really trust her with that. Like she has so much love for the game and so much love for other people's success that it's only made her better throughout the years. I remember freshman year, Marley, she might kill me by saying this, but freshman year, Marley, like she was so timid and she was scared to fail. You know, like it's like the nervous freshman things. But like seeing her grow the last couple of years, like Marley's completely different. And like having her as a leader and behind the plate, like it only is going to make our team better.
Some time on the road for the Crimson Tide, as we mentioned, to start the year. How much are you looking forward to getting the full Rhodes House experience? All the fans are making their way here because when Alabama gets to host here, especially in the postseason, it's really impossible to beat the Crimson Tide. You got to feel with the support we give you here in Tuscaloosa.
Right. Yeah, I think it's awesome. We do have the best fans in the country, and we've had opponents on the opposite side say that. Like Alexis Papillo, like she played at UNI and she played here last year, and Lance used to coach at LSU, and just like them like I've never been on the opposing side, obviously, but they're like the atmosphere here is ridiculous, and like we feel the love from the fans, and like we go out there and like I know that if I strike out or if I hit a home run, like there's support behind me the whole time, and I think that's something really special, and I can't wait for the new girls to enjoy just the roar of the Rhodes House and to have that experience. It's gonna be super cool for them to see.
It's a really special place to play your college softball. Let's go back to the beginning of your journey, back to the state of Michigan. How'd you get from Michigan to Alabama?
So I actually got recruited on my travel team with the Indiana Magic. We were based out of Indianapolis, and we had kind of a lot of girls from a little bit of everywhere. And I kind of like started with like little teams growing up and kind of like slowly worked my way up. Like I never played with the travel team more than 2 years. Fun fact. But like we had a lot of girls. Like when I got on that team, we had Kansas Robinson, who was committed to Northwestern as a shortstop. And I knew going there, like all I had to do was compete. And if I compete with Kansas, Kansas can make me better. I'm going to make Kansas better. And there was like so many other infielders and players at that point. So our coach John Lamar, he took us to every tournament we needed to go to with, all the best coaches in the country watching you. And that first time I saw, it was actually Coach Allie in the stands. I was like, oh, hi. Like I was so nervous, like the little girl. But like I never came to an Alabama camp. Like I never did anything because like I never thought like I'd have this opportunity. So like it was basically just going out there and being who you are on the field, and like letting that take over. And so I kind of just did that, go to the big tournaments, talk to the coaches, email them, and go over there. And when I had my visit here, I was like, yeah, there's nowhere better than here. It's such a family atmosphere, and I just absolutely loved it.
That's really good. Was it always softball for you? Any other sports growing up?
Softball was my favorite, but I played volleyball and basketball and did powerlifting.
Powerlifting?
Yes.
Pretty good there?
I mean, I guess. I guess you could say that.
That make the transition to college weightlifting a little bit easier, getting ready for
like
softball?
I've loved working out since I was little. Like I think it was 5th or 6th grade, I started doing CrossFit with my mom and brother. So I've done CrossFit forever, still do. And it's kind of just something that's more of like a mental help for me. Like it's something that I enjoy outside of softball. And kind of like, make sure that I'm staying in the right headspace. And so like being able to lift and do stuff like that is another thing that I enjoy.
Oh, that's really good. So again, you came here on your visit. Alabama really felt like home from the start.
Yes, they were my last visit too. And I was like, I'm going to save Alabama for last because like I just have a good feeling. And I went on my other visits and I came here and I was like, this is it. Like this is where Montana was my host when I came here. And like I stayed at, it's different now because of COVID, but like we stayed at, like me and all the other recruits, like we stayed at her house and like we had just like, it was like just a fun time because they were who they were. Like they weren't trying to be like impress the recruits and do things like that. Like Montana did karaoke of Halo and love Montana, but like it wasn't the best, but like that's what made me feel like, okay, these girls are here for fun. Also, they're not trying to recruit me. They're not trying to get me here. They're just being who they are. And if it falls, it falls. And it fell. So.
And then how about Coach Murphy? Because, sometimes coaches are one way when they're recruiting you. It's a different story once you're signed and on their roster. But I imagine that line, you can't even tell between Murph when he was recruiting you and how that you've gotten to play for him 4 years.
Yeah, it's just like when he got here, like he just had so much love. And you could tell that he loved every athlete that was here. And he really had a passion for not only the game, but for the people. And we actually have in our locker room where it has person over athlete. Like he cares more about, like, yes, he cares that you do good here and that you love softball, but he's more important about preparing you for the future. Like he wants you to be successful. He doesn't want you to leave here and not know what to do or be lost. Like he wants you to be the best person that you can be, like as an athlete, yes, but more as a person, like be respectful, be kind. So he teaches you those little things. And when I was recruited, obviously I didn't know that. But like that's something special that, a lot of schools don't do. So that's definitely something special about Murph that I'm like, okay, he knows what he's doing.
And also with Alabama softball, Mendita is such a huge part of it. And a lot of teams will focus on that, at different points. And you kind of hear it in a lecture and then it kind of goes away for a while. But how do you guys keep that fresh throughout the air? And you got to love, too, that it's spread to all other sports on this campus.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Murph does a great job of instilling that in us. Like, it's a lot easier to be like, oh, they're doing good and I'm not. But then, it's, you get mad, you get frustrated, and it's something that you realize it's a team sport. It's not a single sport. And so, like, once you realize, like, I can't win a game by myself. Marley can't win a game. Like, you need everybody. And I think once you come to that realization and you know that, like, for other people's success, it's awesome. Like, it's great. Like, I want everybody to succeed or else we're not going to be as good as a team because it's not an individual sport. So I think instilling that and understanding that being happy for other people's success is more important than your own is what Murph preaches. And once you realize that, come to the realization, like everything it's so much more exciting. Like you're not all about, because like in travel ball, it's kind of hard because you're like trying to get recruited and you're trying to do this. So it's more individualized is how I felt when I was playing travel ball. And then when you got here, you're like, oh, everybody's good. Everybody's here for a reason. So, like, celebrate everybody else's success as they would want to celebrate yours.
And ultimately, you want team success, and you want to go to Oklahoma City and the Women's College World Series. Just what's made those runs to OKC so special the last few years?
They've been so special because, like, last year and the year before, we struggled. In the beginning of the year, we didn't have the best record. We didn't have, the number. Like, we got the number 5 seed my sophomore year. But, like, last year, like, we didn't have the best record. We didn't have the best, year before that. But when we realized, hey, let's do this for a team. Like, we can do this. Like, we all believe in each other, and we really came to that realization. Like, it made it so much more memorable when we got there because we were like, we had it in us all along. We knew we did. And we finally put it together, and it was just more of a moment of, we did it. Like, we finally did it. Like, we figured it out. And just being able to get there, like, a little girl from Michigan, like, I'll never forget when we went there my sophomore year, one of my old teammates' best friends, Alex Salter, she was like, okay, whatever you do, don't look up. Well, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to look up in the stands. Of course, that's what I'm going to do. So I, like, looked up, and it was just one of those experiences that, like, I made it, And, like, just being there and having the team effort and the team success that we did made every little bit of the struggles worth it because it made us succeed in the long run.
And that year specifically, Montana gets injured. SEC tournament wills her back into competing in the regionals, super regionals. Just how meaningful was that celebration, especially here, knowing that Montana gets one more trip to OKC with her teammates, just everything you've seen her go through?
Yeah, I think it was just super memorable because, she was there for everybody and she wanted to win in any way possible. And then when that happened at the SEC tournament, Alex Salter backed her up and won it for her. But then, like, she was more of like, okay, like, I'm going to help Jayla. I'm going to help Alex. Like, I'm going to help all these people because she wanted – obviously, she couldn't pitch the way she wanted to. And so she wanted the team to succeed the best way she could. So then when she got the opportunity to finish it out, it was just like, okay, she did it. Like, it was just like we're taking her back, which it was like, we're taking everybody back. But it was special for her because we didn't want her to be done in the SEC tournament. We wanted her to finish out on the big stage. So it was super awesome to see, and I'm glad that I was a part of it.
Fun to celebrate here at the Rhodes House, knowing you're going to OKC, but I imagine even more fun when you're going up against one of your rivals and a team that did really well during the regular season in Tennessee a year ago. We kind of talked about it with Marley a few weeks ago, but game 2, I mean, what was your mindset? Did you feel like you were in a special type game in that moment that it kept going on and on and on?
Yes, I felt like that game was never going to end. I was like 14 innings. I'm like, we're going 20 or something at this point. But it was definitely something that was like, okay, we got this in the bag. Like, I just had that feeling like, okay, we lost game 1, but like we kept it close. And, we found out some things about, like Tennessee was like, oh, like everybody thinks it's going to be easy. They're expected to win. And we're like, no, like we're going to show you how it is. And when Lauren Johnson came off that bench and she was like, I'm ready to go, I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's see what happens. She got that hit, and I was just like, we're in. Because now we're rattled. A girl coming off the bench, making that hit, and she was the winning run. And so, like, just having her there and to see Jenna's reaction too, like, it was just one of those that I'm like, all right, we're winning this game, and then we're going to go finish it off. Like, there was no doubt in my mind, even though the game felt like forever. But I was like, however many innings it takes, like, I have a really good feeling we're going to get the job done.
Just so much adrenaline, I imagine, going from game 2 to game 3. And even in game 3, you got to deal with a rain delay, which Alabama softball throughout history, that's usually been a good thing.
Yeah, that's our thing, I guess. Whatever works. But yeah, like it was just like those games, like even in game one that we lost, I was like, we're coming back. Like there's no way. Like we just had that mindset. We had, all the rally things in the dugout, and like we just had so much energy and so much positivity towards each other that we were like, there's no way we're losing this game. And like even when it got close, I'm like, no, we got it. Like I just had that faith. Where in games before, I'm like, like okay, somebody's gonna, like, you had that nervous, but in this one I was like, nah, like I wasn't even, I was a little nervous obviously, but it was like a different kind. Like I was nervous because I didn't know who was gonna get done or when it was gonna get done. Like I just knew that the job was gonna get done one way or another.
Got it done. Got to go to Oklahoma City. Great into your junior campaign. Now you're a senior, and for you, you've got to be on the field and seen all the senior days that Alabama softball does to a really high level, and now yours is coming up. Do you know when it is just yet, and are you prepared at all for it?
Yes, my senior day is March 15th, opening SEC against Mississippi State. And I will be prepared for it in about an hour because that's when my video is. So got to let it all go, try to hold everything together. But like this experience here has been everything that I can imagine, especially coming from Michigan. Like I knew living in Michigan for 18 years, like I was ready to go down south. Like I wanted to go to Kentucky South. I wanted to be warm. I didn't want to deal with as much snow because we get snow all the time. Like right now, there's a snowstorm right now happening in Michigan, like 10 inches of snow. And like I knew I didn't want to go, and I didn't care what level it was. I didn't care what division it was. I just wanted to go explore something different. And then when I stepped foot on this campus, I was like, this is where it's at. Like there's so much family atmosphere here. Like you create your best friends, you create your memories, like you get everything in between that you ever wanted. And so it's just definitely been something super special that I've admired, and I can't even think of anything different else that I would have wanted.
Who have been some good friends from other sports on this campus for you?
A good friend from another sport is Riley Miner. She's a rower. Her and I are pretty good friends. Lily Hudson, gymnast. Her and I are pretty good friends. It's kind of just been like Brooke Steer and I, because we're both from Michigan, and so we connected super well. And it was just like, once you have friends, like I love going to the gymnastics meets. And I never missed a soccer game when I was here. I will say that. Like I played soccer when I was little, but once it got to like you can like start shoving people, I was like, okay, that's enough for me. Like, I got too many red flags because I didn't know any better. But, like, I always loved that sport, and I knew it really well. So, like, just being able to have friends on a different team and, like, being able to support them and understand what they're going through, it's awesome. And, like, having the relationships here from teammates here, people from other teams, like coaches, other coaches, staff members, like, it's just been something that I will hold on to forever.
Brooke Steer, one of the funniest people you know?
Oh, absolutely. She is hilarious. She is so funny. Like, there was never a time, like, I see her in the dining hall, and I just look at her and just laugh. Like, I'm like, she could be saying nothing. She could be saying something. She's hilarious.
Yeah, it's all facial. We've had her in this studio before.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She had us laughing. You could hear Ethan pretty much laugh throughout the whole interview. That's really good. So, again, it's been a tremendous experience for you as a student athlete here at Alabama. You're hoping for a great run this year towards a national championship. What could life look like after softball for Callie Heivilin?
It's a good question. I'm trying to figure that out right now. I'm a kinesiology major, so forever I want to do physical therapy. I'm like, that's what I want to do. And then when I interned at physical therapy, I was like, I need to be outside. Like, I need to be active. Like, that was something that I was like, that's what's going to fit me best. And so right now I'm on a medical sales track right now, so to do medical device sales, and I'm hoping that falls in place here soon. But that's kind of where my love is right now, and kind of do that, but also have softball lessons or camps or something on the side, because I want to keep the love for softball going and let everybody know, like, how fun it really is, and, take the pressure off and, like, have fun with it. And so that's kind of where I'm going right now, hopefully.
That's really good. And you speaking of coaches, I meant to ask you earlier, but a couple years for you with Coach Allie, and then now a couple years with Coach Bro. I mean, you're getting the best of both worlds right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Coach Allie was one of those people that, like, you could be having the worst day, and you see her smile, and you're just like, hey, Allie, like, how are you? Like, she just had that special role. And then when she retired, we all were like, that she needs to be with her mom. Like, that's what's most important. And then when she now has the opportunity to still be at home with her mom and coach softball, I think that's the best thing for her. And Bro coming in, like, having the mindset of a 3-time All-American. And, also on the flip side of being a commentator for however many years. And, like, she sees both sides. And so she's definitely grown our game a lot. And especially with, like, the lefty slappers, and, like, she does all the little things that, you know, you don't really think about, because like I'm not a lefty slapper. I don't know how important a bunt is. Like, I mean, you know, it's important, but like you don't know all the certain technique to it and stuff like that. So she brings the little things in that have helped us become successful the last 2 years.
Oh, that's really good to see. Well, Callie Heivilin, it's been a blast catching up with you here in our podcast studio. Just all the best to you, Team 29, moving forward. Can't wait to see you at the Rhodes House coming up this spring. But thank you for your time. Roll Tide.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.